Hey,
Hello.
Hey, that's my line. It's Zelda time! Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Zelda News. I'm your host, Bastian. Let's get to those stories. So our first story is actually just a rumor. It's a rumor about the Wii U's release date. Take this with a grain of salt, but supposedly an email out there says that the Wii U will be released on November 18th in the US, in North America, and then a week later it will be released in Japan. We still don't have any rumors about Europe or Australia. It is just a rumor, but it also seems pretty plausible. They've already said they want to do a holiday release this year. So a month right before Christmas is extremely financially reasonable. That's exactly when they would want to release it. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure they'll tell us at E3 in June exactly when we can expect that, but that sounds about right. November 18th, so again, just rumor. We'll have to wait and find out for sure. So our next piece of Zelda news comes from the 3DS game Kid Icarus Uprising, and basically it's poking a little bit of fun at Zelda. In the game Kid Icarus Uprising, there's apparently a point where you see an idle description for a fairy character, and it says, "Tired of pixies asking you to listen?" Now, that's pretty obvious what that's referencing. So it's kind of fun to see Nintendo poking fun at themselves. I mean, Navi is pretty notorious, and I think Nintendo realizes that, or at least the team working on Kid Icarus. Our next story is about a Brazilian soap opera, and strangely enough, the intro for the Brazilian soap opera has an animation-style intro. And in this animation, there's a boy and a boy wearing a white shirt and a girl wearing a pinkish dress, and they live on, it seems like they live on islands up in the clouds, and some of the structures on these islands look a little bit familiar. And then it also features this big, gigantic red bird that's flying around. So looking at that, you kind of wonder if maybe somebody over there who created that animation might be a Skyward Sword fan. Our next piece of Zelda news comes from IGN. They recently did a countdown of the 100 best video game weapons. And IGN sort of is notorious for not giving Zelda as much credit as maybe a lot of us feel like they should. But what was quite surprising is that the #1 video game weapon of all time, they said, is the Master Sword. So props to them for finally giving a shout out to Zelda like we feel like it deserves. So our final story is about a video series called Death Battle. And what they do in this video series is they sort of take two video game characters, analyze what their strengths and weaknesses are throughout the entire franchise history of those characters, pit them up together, animate something showing them using their abilities against each other, and then it's a fight to the death, basically. This particular video is Peach and Princess Zelda. I'm not going to give away the ending, but you'll want to check this out. It's pretty surprising. And that's kind of it for Zelda news this week. There is one tiny little thing that I will mention, which is in a little less than a month from now, we're aiming for May 1st, over on the main website of Zelda Universe, we're going to begin a very special type of contest specifically designed for Zelda fans. I won't reveal too much about it right now, but stay tuned for that. Also be sure to check out this week's Games Like Zelda video, and it's one of the series that I feel is kind of more Zelda-like than most. So be sure to check that one out. See you next time, guys. Bye. Our next piece of Zelda news comes from Kid Icarus Uprising. It's that new Kid Icarus game for the Nintendo 3DS. And in that game, apparently when you try to view some sort of collector's card I don't know what it is that you view. I should have looked that up before I just started talking. And then our final story is about